Okay, like I was saying, right? Like I was saying, I went to Copperfield shows 2 times in the 1980s, thanks to Bob Schofield paying my way. And the second time, his wife Judy Schofield came along and enjoyed it too. And then the rest of the time, Tommy's mom paid my way, Tommy, and me, and his Bobby story, Andy story. Thomas story never got to see a live show, but I let him watch on YouTube and my DVDs and all that, so he knows what Copperfield is now too. My nephew William saw Mickey's magic show, but that was at Christ Hall too. But if you watched it, it was just basically the same as watching a Copperfield show, and because the similar routines, the pole levitation and all that kind of stuff. Might have had some nude stuff in there, but anyway. Um, but I clipped a lot of programs. One where it had the Learjet and him shaking hand with Ronald Reagan holding the Statue of Liberty, and you see a lady's middle disappear. It's a different kind. It has to do with the mirror and smoke and all that. Anyway, and him by the Statue of Liberty, Statue of Liberty, Polaroid magic idea, the Great Wall of China with Ben Bereen and all that. I gave it to a friend of mine that was around the neighborhood. He was into magic, so I helped him out. I helped this other kid out, and he had his idea for a Statue of Liberty, and I said, nope, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. He said, yeah, you're right. And I gave him a whole bunch of Paul Osborne books that I had. Thanks, Bill. You're the best magician ever. Okay, if you say so. But you won't forget me. You won't forget me. Oh, I'll never forget you. Okay. And his father thanked me too. And there's some other kids I helped out too around where I used to live over that way. And he had an idea for the imploding building, Copperfield style, and he was thinking like I was thinking, like an underground tunnel and all that. Said that would work, but here's the best way to do it. Like Jonathan Pendragon idea for the coffin of death escape idea. And he goes, yeah, that's it. And thanks, Bill. You're welcome. Anyway, I helped this guy named Todd and his father. And his father said, the slicer illusion. Let me guess. Fake feet and fake legs and her hands in the middle and she's in that little round ball. You guessed it. Said, I thought so. See, you pretty much guessed the idea. It's like my dad saw the Great Wall of China special for the lady without a mental, Joni Spinetta. Somehow she's bent behind there, and that's a fake head, but how they do the legs. So I showed him the dollhouse illusion plan. He said, yeah, that's it. Anyway. But one thing that people can't figure out is, Chris, not Chris Huddle, that's the other boy, I can't think of his name now. Anyway, he's a sheriff now, so is Billy Subs and all that. But anyway, his grandpa said, when they saw the Statue of Liberty, he said that all they did is turn out the lights. I used to thought that too, but then Tommy's story and his younger brother Mike's story showed me a blueprint of bigger secrets. You know, that makes more sense, a turntable. And then I learned Franz Hoy said in a website, Sun Meets the Horizon, a new way to make buildings and planes disappear. So I combined Sun meets the horizon. Lady Susan turntable. Cut the lights out. Perfect Statue of Liberty vanish. Alright. Anyway, back to this. People can't remember the dates, and I can't either. So to make sure everybody knows about when Copperfield did what and what started what. See, this was the last in 2000 and something. Eugene got the t-shirt and everything. I got the DVD plus this program. That was good enough for me. And Eugene was really excitement. And when I got on the camera, he said, I enjoyed it, and you enjoyed it. I go, folks, he's being funny right now. Raymond Eugene Smith III. He's being fun. Eugene's being funny right now. He was more excited because he was like, wow, that was good and all that stuff. And then when I get the camera rolling, he's got to be funny and calm, cool, collect. Oh, man. And even when I'm walking to Tommy's car, I think it was a blue Tempo or his silver SUV car, I don't know which one, as we're across the street after watching all that special live show. He said, how do you do the duck bucket? How do you appear on a motorcycle? And all this other stuff. The portal illusion and all that. 13 people finished. And I said, Eugene, trust me, if you got in my head, you know everything I know. No, Bill, if I got in your head, I'd get lost. Very funny, Eugene, very funny. So I'll make you a VCR videotape, 6 hours worth. Oh, cool, Bill, thanks. Nowadays, there'll be a DVD disc, but now those are fading out, and we don't have DVD recorders. So all I got is word of mouth now, and explaining it on YouTube, anyway, or Facebook or anything that takes video, or in text, email, whatever, or word of mouth. But anyway, I need to start from the beginning when Copperfield started his shows. It's the highlights of his life. David Copperfield. In 1968, David becomes the youngest magician illusionist in the history of the Society of American Magicians. 1972, David teaches at the New York University the art and magic, illusion magic, a one-term course at the drama department. Still a teenager himself, David, during his last high school days, teaches students of university age. In 1974, David is the star and creative head of The Magic Man, the original musical comedy with the longest running runtime in the history of Chicago. In 1977, The Magic of ABC, starring David Copperfield, presents David's illusion magic and 14 stars of the station to announce the coming of the TV station, including the great Osmondo's illusionist magician. And then later on, Donny Osmond was on the Chris Angel Magic of the Stars, which I was hoping he was. Even on the Donnie Marie show, he zigzags Marie Osmond, and they were in the Genie magazine too, and even on the front cover. Bob Scofield gave me that. It's like, oh, cool. Now I know Donny Osmond is a magician too. 1978, The Magic of David Copperfield, a CBS special with host Orson Welles, illusionist magician, has winning. See, I add things that they don't mention. It says with Orson Welles, but he's also a illusionist magician. Host Orson Welles has winning ratings and demonstrates once again David's unique magic style. The Magic of David that was 1978. 1977 was the Magic ABC. 1974 was the other. 1972 was the other. And 1968 was when it started. Alright. 1978, The Magic of David Copperfield, a CBS special with Orson Welles. Has winning ratings and demonstrates once again David's unique style, unique illusion magical style. It's his magical style, but I always say illusion magical style. 1979, The Magic of David Copperfield 2 wins David and his team not only sensational reports from the critics but also several Emmy nominations. David sketches and stages the illusion magic background for Earth, Wind, and Fire. In each arena, an audience of 20,000 sees the group disappear from the stage and subsequently appear again on monolith above their heads. I sure like to see that if that's on YouTube somewhere. Terror Train, I got that too, with Jamie Lee Curtis in the second starring role, introduces David to a large cinema theater. The magic in this 20th Century Fox work was created by David. See, all the illusion is created by David, even in the magic, the Magic Man and all that stuff. Doug Henning did Merlin and did NBC's Doug Henning's World of Magic. Did 7 specials. Mark Wilson, The Magic Circus and Magic Alakazam, and there's Harry Blackstone Jr., there's Howard Thurston, Dante, Harry Houdini, Theo Harding, you name it. Then you got Melinda, the First Lady of Magic, Princess Tanko, Tony Spinia, Paul Daniels with his wife, McGee, I can't think of her name. I'll think of it later on. Mark Wilson, Nanny Narnell, Mike Wilson, and Greg Wilson. Mark Wilson and Doug Henning saved Illusion Magic, and David said Copperfield preserved it. 1980s, David lets a 100,3 money sign Ferrari first float high above the heads of the audience and then disappear. That's 1980. The Magic of David Copperfield 3. Oh, the red Dino Ferrari, didn't it? It didn't say that. That's what it is. It's a red Dino Ferrari. Even Copperfield calls it the red Dino Ferrari. What it was is an Azra levitation, adding with a vanishing car routine that I read in Illusion Plans. The Magic of David Copperfield 3 becomes one of the most watched shows of the year. David is chosen as Magician of the Year. This makes him the youngest magician ever to be awarded the Magic Oscar. 1981, The Magic of David Copperfield 4 at CBS makes history. David makes a 7-ton jet, in other words, his own private jet, disappear 7-ton. Copperfield in interviews says, people call it a 747, but that's okay. It was just a 7-ton Learjet. Jet disappear in front of millions of spectators. It was surrounded by 70 people, and then he said he's not responsible for luggage. I like that line. This is the largest object ever made to disappear, and without any trick photography, David is chosen Entertainer of the Year. The prize is handed to him by the American Guild of Variety Artists on national TV. David has the honor of appearing in front of President Reagan, born-again Christian, that even had a track out at our church, even passed out at Good News Baptist Church. President Ronald Reagan, born-again Christian, actor, cowboy, farmer, and his wife, Mrs. Reagan, in a special performance together with Lucino Pavarotti, Natalie Makarova, and Lena Horne. The show at the Ford Theater in Washington is broadcast on national TV. And I think that other guy, too, that plays in the Guinness Record, can make the longest note with the flute, or maybe that was another time, but I know Copperfield was on that, too. 1982, David establishes Project Magic, a charitable organization which teaches disabled persons magic in order to motivate them in their therapy. He saw there was a guy that would write back and forth. Then he sent a picture. He's in a wheelchair. And so it made Copperfield think, hey, I could start this Project Magic thing. And it's going over 5,000 hospitals around the world. 1983, the Magic David Copperfield 5, and even Orson Welles is on this one too. To 1983. So in 1982, he establishes Project Magic. 1980, and he came out with a book you can buy too, with all the tricks in it, and even with all the Secrets of Magic by Herbert Becker. Copperfield took all the secrets out from Herbert Becker and put in this Project Magic in there. 1982, Project Magic. 1983, the Magic of David Copperfield 5 is broadcast by CBS in 1983. David makes the Statue of Liberty disappear in front of a live audience. Once again, David is invited by President and Mrs. Reagan to give a special performance at the Ford Theater. Maybe that's where Kenny Loggins, I think that's his name, with the flute. Anyway, Kenny's record, anyway. 1984, David stars in his first tour to 70 cities in USA, including at the Chrysler Hall every year. His last performance was in the year 2000 or something. In 1984, David starts his first tour to 70 cities in the USA and Canada. The Magic David Copperfield 6 has the highest earning ratings, evening ratings, and wins David a second Emmy Award. He dumbfounds millions as he floats above the Grand Canyon, and he challenged the fate when he tries, in a similar style to Houdini, the escape from death of I think it's called a 50-pound spike. David and his parents are there too. David is the first magician given a long-term contract at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Bill Cosby helped him to get his foot in the door. 1985, David Copperfield is chosen as one of the most extraordinary and distinguished young men of America by USJCs, and thus achieves the standing of Orson Welles, illusionist John F. Kennedy, and Howard Hughes. The Magic of David Copperfield 7 is broadcast by CBS. David and his team win the 4th Emmy. 1986, The Magic of David Copperfield 8, Walking Through the Great Wall of China. David's 8th special, brought to you by the Magic of Craft Specials and in your TV guide tonight. David's 8th special on CBS is broadcast from China and presents his daring walk through the Great Wall. David and his team are the first American production crew to bring a TV special back from mainland China. After 9 TV specials and over 2 years of extensive touring, David has been seen by more people than any other magician in the world, including Harry Houdini. Well, it says including Houdini, but I like to say the whole thing. Including Harry Houdini, Eric Wash. And probably his brother Theo Houdini and all them, Dan T. Howard Thurston, Keller, and all them. Dakota. 1987. The annual publication Performance Magazine described David as one of the most successful top acts of the year. 1986. But it says 1987 here, but it was in 1986. Project Magic is celebrating its 5th anniversary. The program is practiced in more than 1,000 hospitals in more than 30 countries throughout the world. In March, the broadcast of The Magic of David Copperfield 9 is started, Escape from Alcatraz. So its 9th special is the Alcatraz, 8 is China. From Alcatraz is the most watched evening show, and the Copperfield special wins the highest ratings to date. 1988, David is made speaker for the U.S. organization Disabled Athletes. He looks after financial matters and participation in the Paralympic Games taking place in the summer of 1988 in Seoul and Korea. David tours the USA, Brazil, Mexico, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and China. David's 10th anniversary with the CBS television network is accompanied accompanied by a further sensation, The Magic of David Copperfield 10. The Bermuda Triangle is being broadcast in March and shows David's challenge of one of the greatest mysteries of the centuries, based on Andre Cole Christian Luda's Bermuda Triangle illusion. 1989, Princess Tenko does her version of the Bermuda Triangle. 1989, David starts his sixth international tour and performs more than 500 times in front of a live audience. In March, CBS is again host for David's special of the year, The Magic David Copperfield 11, The Magic of David Copperfield 11, The Explosive Encounter. His most dangerous illusion to date. Escaping from Charlotte Hotel building and magically appear on top of a steel platform. Tied up and chained in a safe, David lies in a safe while a 13-story building collapses around him. For this, he receives 2 Emmy Awards. David is chosen as one of the 10 best dressed men in America. On the list are Brian Ferry, Elton John, and Michael J. Fox. Well, that's good. And Michael J. Fox for the theme song for Back to the Future. The guy plays Doc, and then Michael J. Fox and others. The young boy that's played older, his father, was on Andy Griffin's show with all the Opie and the other kids. 1990. The Magic of David Copperfield 12. The Niagara Falls Challenge shows David tied up and chained to a burning raft which plunges over Niagara Falls. Minutes later, a worldwide public watches David emerge again unharmed. David continues his long-lasting U.S. tour and visits Japan, Brazil, Singapore, Indonesia, Korea, and Mexico with more than 500 performances yearly. Over 7 successful years, more than 7,30,30 people have seen him live on stage. In 1991, the Magic David Copperfield 13 is broadcast by CBS on April 9th. David makes the 85 feet long diner car of the Orient Express with a weight of 70 tons, float in midair and then disappear while a ring of spectators stands around and holding hands. 1992, in The Magic of David Copperfield 14, Flying, Live the Dream, David fulfills his dream of flying. He floats through the air without ropes, wings, or camera tricks. He doesn't say wires. That's called stretching the truth. 1993, The Magic of David Copperfield. See, that's 13, 14, 15. The Magic of David Copperfield 15 shows one of David's most sensational illusions. Fire is a passion. David hangs 10 stories above fiery spikes, head aimed towards the piercing torches while bound by a straitjacket. A mammoth tour of Germany and Australia were in 8 weeks with 110 shows. He enthralls an audience of more than, 600,30, the first to see him live in Europe. In the Dortmund Westfalenhalle, in Europe's largest entertainment hall, David establishes the absolute record for the venue with 16 sold-out shows and an audience of 160,30 people in Europe, and are enchanted as David weightlessly flies with a lady from the audience in his arms. Historians of magic and experts consider his flight the greatest illusion ever performed on stage. The show grows to such proportions, a Boeing 747 is chartered to transport the equipment across the continents. 1994. In the autumn In the autumn, David conquers Europe for the second time. More than 1 million fans celebrate in Milan, Zurich, London, Paris, Rotterdam, whatever, the Hague, or whatever, and Louisiana. Again, he breaks all the new records. In the famous London Earl's Court, he performed 7 consecutive times before an audience of 12,30 on each occasion. Even the royal family and numerous pop stars such as Elton John and George Michael visit his show. In Paris, David is the first magician in the world to be awarded a decoration by the French Minister of Culture as a patron of culture and the arts. 1995. In the spring, David starts a Jubilee tour of Germany for his program, The Best of David Copperfield, 15 Years of Magic. He combined the most beautiful and greatest stage illusions of his incomparable career. For the first time, he presents live the legendary Death Saw, a more than 33-foot large screeching industrial circular saw. David does not have a lot of time to escape from his bonds before the saw cuts him in two. Another highlight is the fan, a gigantic fan through which the mega magician and his assistant walk and then dissolve into smoke. Lady assistant. Sometimes he just walks by himself, and then he appears in the audience by himself, or he goes with the girl, then both he and the girl appear. David performs over 10 weeks in 11 German towns: Munich, Berlin, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Bremen, Kiel, Hanover, Cologne, Dortmund, Leipzig, that's a magician, Leipzig, Nuremberg, and audience of more than 1 million see the show. David, his crew, and the show are dressed by the Italian fashion designer Giuliani Parisi. A lot of work. Copperfield and his illusion crew and lighting crew, technician, electric technicians, scientists, you name it, help make that show work. And illusion engineers, like Walt Disney. His 16th, and Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. His 16th television special, The Magic of David Copperfield, X by 6, 15 Years of Magic, tops all ratings at CBS and RTL, whatever RTL means. This time, Claudia Schiffer leads the audience as a reporter into the mysterious world of the magician. It's a 2-hour special instead of an 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. special. It's a 2-hour. His first CD is released under the title The Sound of Magic. The high-tech illusionist presents his favorite songs from the stage show in his performance that lasts more than 2 hours. Just before starting his tour of Germany, David receives his star on the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame in Los Angeles, where from Marilyn Monroe to John Wayne, all greats of film and show business are immortalized. And he's got his handprints in Florida where he rode Wizard of Oz ride, which I've rode before too. And he said it was magical, and then that's exactly what it was. My hands couldn't fit Copperfield's hands, but Tommy Story's hands fit perfectly. 1996, I know why he called it magical. It was magical, the ride. Plus, that's one of his favorite movies too. Hence, the way the feet goes in before the raft goes over the falls. Anyway, looks like the same thing when one of the witches the feet went in. Anyway, when the house fell on her in the Wizard of Oz movie. In 1996, David takes Broadway by storm, conquering all box office. This is Dreams and Nightmares. I used to have that hat, but after writing the album, guys, it fell off my head, and some kid or adults having a field day with it. It cost $40. They'll have fun with it. 1996, David takes Broadway by storm, conquering all box office and audience records. Shows on the Great White Way, including Cats and The Lion King, have yet to break records set by the illusionists. In addition to his run on Broadway, David steps into the library world with his anthology of original fiction by such authors Dean Koontz, Joyce Carol Oates, Ray Bradbury, and others. For David Copperfield Tells the Impossible. I think I have that book. The other one I don't think I have. This collection was so well received that a second volume, David Copperfield's Beyond Imagination, is available in bookstores now. 1997. The show Dreams and Nightmares is taken to South America. Ticket sales in Argentina, Chile, Brazil, and Mexico all set new records. And now Valentino Lerner Montana, Masked Magician, is now in Mexico. But he still pops up in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, whatever, once in a while. And even Donnie Marie got pictures with the Masked Magician. Brazil and Mexico all set new records, and they're also friends with Copperfield too. Brazil and Mexico all set new records, and Banús airs in 3 short weeks. Over 150,30 people flocked to see 44 shows. Performances in Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo play to enthusiastic audiences. In September, the show is taken to Moscow, where it plays to a packed house in the Kremlin Palace Theater. Tickets sold on the black market for over 1,500. In the same year, a website was established for www.dcopperfield.com. This unique site is continuously being presented with awards. 1998. A Copperfield phenomenon is created in Japan, with all public performances being runaway successes. American and European tours, and conducted in particular. The European shows set new records in box office takings and show attendance figures. 2 new illusion acts, 1 and 13, the One Illusion and 13 People Vanish illusion, to reappear in the audience. First he just make them vanish, and then after the show the people come and meet their family and all that, but they decide to add it where they reappear in the audience waving their flashlights. And that's how we saw it. Tommy always got picked, but a lady next to us caught the ball first. 2 new illusion acts, 1 and 13, are stage established, and even greater reputation. This is enhanced even more with interactive opening a new dimension in the world of magic. 1999, David continued his worldwide phenomenon by taking his stage shows to Central and South America, Australia, Japan, throughout Europe, not to mention throughout the United States. In fact, David breaks new ground by taking his show to Istanbul, Turkey, performing in a specially designed outdoor faculty to the Ukraine, Russia, and stops in Cape Town and Johannesburg, South Africa, Japan. That's where our church members, Mika Fowler and her husband Jerry Fowler, and their 2 kids, Laura and Josh or Stephen Fowler, I can't remember, and their family. They teach sign language. They were helping Mrs. Asher out, Renee Asher out, but she's got it down pat real good now, and other people that learned for free lessons. Sandra Kelly gave out free lessons too. So did Sandy Tobin, Pastor Tobin's wife. We took a little bit of lessons there. El Baño means bathroom. Zero means, Zorro means fox, the year 2000, David and his team introduce a new illusion, Portal, which breaks all barriers in the illusionary field, and once again proves David is in a league of his own. Portal transports individuals from the stage to the place of their dreams within seconds. All the while, David continues his touring tradition with dates in more than 50 cities and nearly 24 states domestically alone. International performances in Poland, Spain, Portugal, Colombia. That's where the missionaries are now. They're helping out. They're becoming. Joe Norrell and his family are now at Sweet Haven Baptist, and he's a pastor there, and he does magic tricks too. Colombia, Portland, Spain, Portugal, Colombia, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and Canada continue in the successful tradition of enthusiastic sellout crowds worldwide. Our new television special, Copperfield Greatest Escapes, premieres on CBS to mark the first year of the new millennium. David is honored as a living legend by the Library of Congress. Muhammad Ali, who's a magician too, and Steven Spielberg are among the selective individuals. As if the honor was not colloquial enough, David is one of the only inductees invited to actually perform at the ceremony. In the fall, David is part of yet another first, as a series of postage stamps in his honor are unveiled in 4 countries. And Madame Tussauds wax too of his flying thing, and they asked, what did Claudia think? And Copperfield said, well, there was wax behind the ears. Anyway, 2001, in the heart of spring, David introduces one of his most impressive television specials to date, Copperfield Tornado of Fire. If he would have lasted longer in that fire, people would have given it more rating. But they got to realize, you don't mess with fire. If he said he's hot, that means he's on fire, and they know how to put it out. And there's no way to get it started up again, and he's going, it's a one-time take. Even my niece Molly was amazed that he was able to sacrifice like that. Anyway, it's kind of good that way, because the children know not to mimic that, because if it's hurting Copperfield real bad, then it could hurt them too. Anyway, Copperfield Tornado of Fire continues. Oh, and some people say Copperfield did the fire. Fire melts ice. David Blaine's frozen in time. He melted David Blaine's ice. Nope. Like I told someone, Copperfield's been working on that Tornado of Fire way before David Blaine did his first special for ABC. Anyway, and they also do it for Urkel Family Matters. They do a version with Urkel and the vacuum cleaner idea, and they do it for a car commercial for a vacuum tornado idea. Anyway, Copperfield Tornado of Fire continues David's unprecedented reputation with a visually stunning show that saw him survive in the center of a tornado of fire. Live, the 20th television special of David's career included allusions from his touring show shot totally in and around. Another first in the field of magic, illusion magic. Another first is taking the live show Portal to China. A brand new 7,000-seat arena is constructed in which David is the anarchical artist. Each show is sold out. Due to strict Chinese regulations, interactive portions of the show require special government permission. Sold-out shows continue for David throughout South Asia, including Bangkok, Hong Kong, and Singapore. The live touring show. Portal also makes stops in Japan, Mexico, Germany, Switzerland, Brussels, and the United States. I was going to say, I know it had to say United States. If not, I would mention that, because we all saw it at Chrysler Hall. And that was in the year 2000 something. Eugene and everybody. I was praying to Jesus that he would do all of his classics and also the 13 People Band and Portal, and he did. And his losing crew, Jesus answered my prayer. Anyway. Alright, now you know everything in order. So nobody, including me, won't forget of all the 20 specials, or probably 21. See, it's actually 18 specials and 2 documentaries, as someone said, a lady said in a YouTube video, and probably in a comment too, someone probably said it, but also A&E biography with Peter Graves that Copperfield did a Backstage with Illusion and produced Peter Graves and Backstage with Magician and Magic at the Roxy, and he said he has no clue how he did it. That's true in some way, because he don't know what he's doing. He's doing it going by the emotion, but if he played it back, he'd say, oh, that's what I did. But he said, when he said, and I have no idea how he did it, he was telling the truth when he was doing that interview, because in a way he didn't know unless he played it back and watched it himself. Anyway, it's like the 13 People vanish. People go backstage, get an autograph, and they get to watch their own self disappear and reappear in the audience, because they're just doing what they're supposed to be doing, and everything's fine. What was I going to say? My favorite illusions of Copperfield is the Learjet, Statue of Liberty, and the Great Wall of China, the Death Saw, the Death Table, his comedy act, the banana thing with Mr. Rogers, a misunderstanding. My dad liked that too. He literally cracked up. And even motivate him to tell me, Bill, go get me a banana. Okay, so you talk about subliminal messages. Anyway, my dad was eating a banana while watched Mr. Rogers doing a Mr. Rogers a misunderstanding thing. And at Chrysler Hall, he performed the same thing. I like his orange, grapefruit, egg to canary thing. That's good. Even on the Magic ABC, like a detective idea, it was real good too. With the Hardy Boys. I wish I could find a DVD of the Hardy Boys Nancy Drew DVD collection. That's one thing I don't have, or the Fantasy Island I don't have of either, but although I can watch it on Roku for free, but still, I like to have it on DVD, although DVD players are going out of style and Blu-rays, so I don't know. But I know I need to get Now You See Me movies. I got 1 and 2, I need to get 3. I don't know if I ever got Slight DVD, but I know they aired it on the movie, but I don't know if the DVD ever came out. Anyway, they were supposed to make a Slight 2, but I guess that didn't pan out. Ryland's supposed to, and some other magician's supposed to come out with a Disney special with magicians like they have done before, but Brian wasn't in it before, but it'd be interesting how that comes out. I can't wait for that one. Brian Petty is an upcoming magician. He said he wants to even have his own show when he gets older, like Penn and Teller. Hope it all works out. The Rapture don't come yet. Hopefully he and Craig and his whole family, Thea, his sister, and his mom and everything, and their friends and magician buddies, they find Jesus in their heart by asking Jesus to forgive them all their sins and come out in their heart and save them. It's real simple. It's not rocket science. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, whoever shall believe in him shall are not parents but have everlasting life. John 3:16. But it means by asking Jesus to forgive you all your sins and come in heart and save you. Because the devil believes in tribble, and so does the fallen. They know Jesus Christ, Lord of God, exists. Alright. I can't think right now, but everybody gets the gist of the whole thing. As Bob's Cuckoo likes to say, same bat time, same bat channel.